Other than sending you to the hospital, your dad should be you. Yeah. Anything in your room is gone.
Yeah, my dad looked at me and he said, you're a little He said, this is why you're
cases. Some names, details, and events have been altered for privacy and dramatic purposes. While every effort has been made to ensure accuracy, certain information may not be factually verified. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
The Sergio Nino 3 case. Arizona teen's family sues police after heated home encounter. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Murder Mysteris, the channel where we uncover the truth behind some of the most shocking and thought-provoking cases in America's justice system. Today's case comes from Phoenix, Arizona, and it begins with what seemed like a simple call for help from a father, a frustrated parent trying to deal with a disobedient teenage son.
He's bringing the drugs in the house, he's smoking inside the house. Come on, he's smoking inside the house. And today while I was at work, I saw him leave. My cameras around 4 o'clock, and he just came back a little bit ago. So as soon as I heard something, I went to his room and I knocked.
But that call quickly escalated into something much larger. An incident that has now led to a $500,000 lawsuit against the police department.
He's scared to lose his job to hit you, which he should have been doing for a long time.
It's really funny, man.
I'm not laughing. You're the one laughing.
Abuse all when I was a child.
Do you not know what is?
I know. I clearly know what abuse is. Yeah. I was choked by my mom was an alcoholic.
Okay.
She died of alcohol poisoning. You really don't know anything, man.
Raising questions about use of force, parental authority, and how quickly situations can spiral inside the walls of a family home. Before we continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth coverage of the cases that truly matter. Every like, comment, and subscription goes a long way in growing our community of truth seekers and justice watchers. So please, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe if you have not yet done so, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive. Now, back to this complex and emotionally charged story. It started like many family disputes do, with tension building between a father and his teenage son. On that day in Phoenix, a concerned and frustrated father decided he needed help from the authorities. His 16-year-old son, Sergio Nino 3, had been disobedient and confrontational, leading his father to pick up the phone and call the police. He was not expecting the situation to become a viral controversy, nor could he have predicted that a lawsuit seeking $500,000 in damages would emerge from what he thought was a disciplinary moment. When officers arrived at the Nino residence, they were informed that Sergio had been refusing to follow house rules and had been acting out. The father, believing that police intervention might help correct his son's behavior, allowed the officers into the home. But as body camera footage would later show, what followed was not a calm conversation or a gentle warning. It was a tense confrontation that many argue went far beyond what was necessary. The footage begins with officers stepping into the family's living room, where Sergio can be seen standing at a distance. The teenager looks frustrated, but not physically aggressive. His father, visibly tired, tells officers that his son refuses to listen, that he talks back, and that he needs discipline. What happens next is where opinions begin to divide sharply. The officers attempt to...
I watched him choke her. I watched him spit on her.
So your dad abused your mom, who abused you. Interesting circle.
Yeah, that's how I live.
Engage with Sergio, telling him to respect his father's authority and follow the rules of the home. But their tone quickly turns stern, and within moments, the exchange shifts from a calm discussion to a confrontation. In the video, Sergio can be heard responding with short, defiant words, something typical for many teenagers. But instead of de-escalating, the officers press further, stepping closer to him. Their voices grow louder. At one point, one of the officers tells Sergio that if he cannot behave, he will have to leave or face arrest. The teenager seems startled and defensive, saying he has not done anything wrong. It is here that the situation takes a dramatic turn. According to the lawsuit filed later, the officers allegedly used unnecessary force while attempting to restrain the teenager. The body cam footage, reviewed by Law and Crime's Jesse Weber, captures moments of physical struggle, with Sergio being pushed down and handcuffed despite not posing an immediate threat. The father, watching as things escalate, appears conflicted. His intention was never for his son to be manhandled or taken away. He only wanted help restoring peace in his home. But as he watches the officers restrain Sergio, that hope quickly turns into regret. The footage shows him trying to speak, attempting to calm the officers and his son, but by then, it is too late. Soon after the incident, the Nino family filed a civil lawsuit against the city of Phoenix and the officers involved, claiming emotional distress, excessive force, and violation of constitutional rights. The lawsuit demands $500,000 in damages, arguing that the officers' actions traumatized the teenager and caused unnecessary harm. In their defense, the police department has stated that their officers acted in accordance with protocol, emphasizing that the father himself had called them for assistance. They argue that the officers faced a volatile situation and had to make quick decisions for everyone's safety. But the family's attorney disagrees, asserting that nothing about the footage justifies the level of force used on a 16-year-old inside his own home. Law and Crimes Analysis, led by Jesse Weber, presents a detailed breakdown of both the complaint and the body cam footage. What stands out most in the review is the stark difference between what the police report claimed and what the camera footage actually shows. The report describes Sergio as aggressive and non-compliant, yet the footage shows a teenager mostly standing still, responding verbally but not physically resisting. The lawsuit also highlights the long-term impact this event has had on Sergio and his family. His attorney claims that the teenager has since developed anxiety and distrust toward law enforcement, feelings that could shape his outlook for years to come. The father, too, has expressed remorse, saying that his call for help turned into one of the worst experiences of his life. As public reaction spread, many began questioning the broader issue of how police handle domestic disputes involving minors. Should law enforcement be the first option in dealing with family discipline issues? Or does this case show the risk of calling in armed officers for what could have been resolved through counseling or mediation? Cases like this are difficult to categorize because they sit at the intersection of parental responsibility, police authority, and the unpredictability of human emotion. One side sees officers doing their job, responding to a father's call for help and trying to bring order. The other side sees an overreach, a situation that went from a conversation to a confrontation that should never have happened. The Phoenix Police Department has yet to publicly disclose whether any internal review or disciplinary action was taken against the officers involved. However, legal experts point out that the outcome of this lawsuit could set a significant precedent for how police handle domestic incidents involving teenagers moving forward. What is clear is that this story has touched a nerve across the country. Many parents sympathize with the father's initial decision to call the police, believing that sometimes external help is needed to manage a rebellious teen. Yet, others warn that calling law enforcement into a family matter can lead to outcomes far beyond what parents anticipate. At the core of this case is a family